Hi, I'm Zariah. Everyone says I got my analytical mind from my dad, which is probably why I became an accountant. Not that he'd ever admit it. In the Anderson family business, spreadsheets take a back seat to power tools. I pulled into the hospital parking lot, dreading another afternoon of watching my brother Marcus play the devoted son act. The text from my mom was the usual. Don't forget to bring your father's favorite magazines. As if I would forget. The elevator ride to the oncology floor gave me just enough time to put on my game face. When the doors opened, I spotted Marcus immediately, his arm around our mother Diana's shoulders like he was the protector of the family. Look who finally showed up. Dad's been asking for you. I clutched the magazines tighter. I came as soon as I finished work, Marcus. Right, because pushing papers around is so demanding. Diana patted his arm. Your brother's been here since lunch, Zariah. He had to reschedule 3 client meetings. The business doesn't run itself, Marcus added with that smirk I'd grown to hate. Not that you'd understand what it takes to build something real. I bit my tongue. 29 years of practice made it easier. Dad's room was too quiet, just the steady beep of monitors. Harold Anderson, who once commanded construction sites with a booming voice, now barely filled half the hospital bed. There's my girl, he whispered, reaching for my hand with fingers thinner than I remembered from last week. How you feeling today, Dad? Like $1,000,000, he lied, his eyes drifting to the door where Marcus and Diana hovered. I lowered my voice. The doctor said anything new? Something flashed across his face. Worry? Fear? But Marcus stepped in before Dad could answer. I was just telling Dad about the Wilson project. We're finalizing the contract next week. That's great, I said flatly. It's what happens when you actually work in the family business instead of hiding behind a desk. Dad shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. Same old story. Marcus could do no wrong. Men build things, Zariah, Diana chimed in, straightening Dad's blanket. Your brother's following in your father's footsteps. And I'm not? Accounting is nice, but it's not the same. The afternoon dragged on with Marcus dominating the conversation, talking about business deals and expansion plans like Dad wasn't dying of stage 4 cancer. I sat quietly, occasionally catching Dad's eyes. Something was bothering him beyond the obvious. We should let him rest, the nurse finally announced. Outside, Diana took my arm. Your brother needs the house keys to check on that leak in the basement. Again? That's the 3rd time this month. He knows what he's doing, Zariah. Unlike some people, he understands maintenance. I was halfway home when my phone rang. The hospital's number flashed on the screen. Miss Anderson, you need to come back immediately. Your father's condition has deteriorated significantly. My heart dropped. In the background, I heard alarms. I broke every speed limit getting back to the hospital. The parking garage seemed endless as I sprinted toward the entrance, my heart pounding in my ears. On the oncology floor, I found Marcus already at Dad's bedside, hunched over with a notepad while Dad drifted in and out of consciousness. What the hell are you doing? Marcus barely looked up. Getting the final approval on the West Side project. Dad needs to sign off before he's too medicated. Are you serious right now? The doctor just called me because his condition is critical. Which is exactly why we need to handle business matters now. Someone has to think about the company's future. The nurse shot Marcus a disapproving look as she adjusted Dad's IV. Mr. Anderson needs rest, not paperwork. This'll just take a minute, Marcus insisted. But Dad's eyes had already closed. I planted myself between them. Get out, now. You don't give the orders around here, little sister. A commotion at the door saved me from responding. Gina, Dad's office manager for 15 years, burst in with flowers. Her eyes were puffy from crying. Oh, Harold, she whispered, then noticed Marcus's notepad. What's that? Nothing that concerns you, Marcus snapped, tucking it into his jacket. Gina stiffened. I've worked for Harold Anderson since before you could drive a truck. Everything about this company concerns me. When Marcus stepped out to take a call, Gina pulled me into the hallway. Your father's been worried sick about something, but he wouldn't tell me what. She glanced around nervously, then pressed something cold into my palm. A USB drive. He asked me to give you this if things took a turn. Said you'd know what to do with it. You're the numbers person after all. What's on it? I don't know, honey. He was real secretive these last few months. Kept having meetings with that lawyer, James Wilson. James Wilson? Dad's never mentioned him. That's what worried me. 30 years in business, and suddenly he needs a new attorney? Dad's monitor started beeping rapidly. Nurses rushed in, pushing us aside. The next few hours blurred together. Doctors speaking in urgent tones. Diana wailing dramatically while Marcus paced outside, making business calls as if nothing was happening. At 9:47 that night, Harold Anderson took his last breath. I didn't look at the USB until 2 days later. What I found made me physically sick. Spreadsheets showing systematic embezzlement from company accounts, backdated invoices, phantom employees on payroll, all tied to Marcus. And there were emails between Dad and James Wilson discussing contingency plans and protecting the legacy. The funeral was a parade of Marcus's ego. He greeted business associates like he was hosting a networking event. Such a shame about Harold, but don't worry. I've got big plans for Anderson Construction. Thinking of selling that old house, too. No sense keeping it when the business needs capital for expansion. Diana nodded along. Marcus knows what's best. Your father would want the business to grow. I clutched my purse, feeling the weight of the USB inside. After the service, a tall man approached me. Miss Anderson, James Wilson. I was your father's attorney. We need to talk. His handshake was firm, his expression unreadable. Your father made some changes to his will recently. The reading is scheduled for next Thursday. I strongly suggest you attend. Marcus appeared at my shoulder. Already cozying up to the new lawyer? Don't bother. Dad and I had everything worked out years ago. James smiled thinly. I look forward to seeing you both Thursday then, 2 p.m. sharp. I arrived at James Wilson's office an hour before the scheduled reading. The receptionist ushered me straight into his corner office with a view of downtown. Thank you for coming early, Miss Soraya. I wanted to brief you privately. I brought the USB drive. I placed it on his polished desk. Did you know about all this? James nodded grimly. Your father discovered the discrepancies about 8 months ago. He was devastated. Why didn't he just confront Marcus? He tried. Marcus convinced your mother it was all accounting errors, blamed it on the software, even suggested you might have made the mistakes during your occasional freelance work for the company. My blood boiled. That lying piece of, your father knew the truth. That's why he came to me. James pulled out a thick folder. We've been gathering evidence for months. Bank transfers, falsified contracts, even shell companies Marcus created to funnel money through. What's the plan for today? Your father was very specific about how he wanted this handled. The evidence will be presented during the reading. He wanted everyone to hear the truth simultaneously. I chewed my lip nervously. Marcus is going to explode. I've arranged for security to be present. Just stay calm and let me handle the legal aspects. When I entered the conference room later, Marcus was already lounging in a chair like he owned the place, Diana fussing over his tie. There she is, finally. Let's get this over with. I've got a business to run. Marcus smirked. Gina sat quietly in the corner, along with 3 other longtime employees Dad had considered family. Dad's poker buddy Frank nodded at me sympathetically. James cleared his throat and began. Before I read the will, Harold requested I play this video. Dad's face appeared on the screen, much healthier than his final days. My eyes welled up immediately. If you're watching this, I've passed on. I built Anderson Construction from nothing, with honest work and integrity. Recently, I discovered that trust has been broken. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. For years, I believed my son would carry on my legacy. The evidence James will present today proves otherwise. Marcus has stolen from the company, created fraudulent accounts, and betrayed everything I stand for. Diana gasped. That can't be right. Harold would never. With a heavy heart, Dad continued. I've made the necessary changes to protect what I've built. The full documentation is included with my will. James paused the video and distributed folders to everyone present. This is ridiculous. Marcus slammed his folder shut. Dad was on heavy medication. He wasn't thinking clearly. These records indicate otherwise, James said calmly. Harold was very thorough. James resumed reading the will. To my daughter, Zariah, I leave Anderson Construction in its entirety, along with the family home and all associated properties. The room went dead silent. This is bullshit, Marcus launched to his feet. She knows nothing about construction. She's an accountant. Perhaps that's exactly what the company needs right now, Gina muttered. James continued. Marcus is to receive a one-time payment of $50,000, contingent upon his cooperation with any pending investigations into company finances. Marcus lunged across the table toward me. You manipulated him. You turned him against me. Frank and another employee grabbed him before he could reach me. You'll regret this, Zariah. I'll contest everything. You think you can run Dad's company? I'll destroy it before I let you have it. Security arrived as Marcus knocked over chairs trying to get at me. I'll see you in court, bitch. James calmly collected his papers as Marcus was escorted out. I believe that concludes today's reading. Zariah, we should discuss next steps for the transition of ownership. The papers are ready to sign. Diana confronted me in the parking lot, mascara streaking down her face. How could you do this to your own brother? Your father wasn't thinking clearly. Dad knew exactly what he was doing. Did you even look at the evidence? Marcus made some mistakes, but he's family. You need to fix this. As predicted, Marcus contested the will the next morning. The hearing lasted 15 minutes. The judge reviewed the documentation with a deepening frown. Mr. Anderson, these records show clear embezzlement. I'm denying your petition and referring this to the district attorney's office. My first week as CEO was spent meeting with clients and partners. Gina scheduled back-to-back meetings with financial summaries showing exactly how Marcus's theft had impacted projects. Frank rallied the crew leaders in the warehouse. Zariah's in charge now, and that's a good thing. No more ghost employees. No more disappearing materials. How do we know she won't just sell everything off? Someone shouted. Because unlike my brother, I respect what my father built. Starting Monday, we're implementing proper inventory tracking, restoring the profit-sharing program Marcus gutted, and paying out those bonuses you earned. 3 months later, profits were up 22%. The indictment against Marcus came down. 18 counts of embezzlement, tax fraud, and witness intimidation after threatening Gina. The morning of his arraignment, Marcus showed up at my office unannounced, looking shabby and desperate. Please, Zariah, I'm broke. The legal fees have wiped me out. I'm sorry, okay? Really sorry. Remember when you told everyone I took the easy way out? Or when you moved your things into Dad's office while he was getting chemo? Or when you tried to attack me at the will reading? I was angry. People say things. You're not sorry you stole from Dad. You're sorry you got caught. As security escorted him out, I called James. He came by the office. Might need a restraining order. 1 year after Dad's death, I unveiled the company's new name, Harold Anderson Construction and Development, featuring Dad's favorite saying, build with integrity or don't build at all. That same day, Marcus was sentenced to 7 years for embezzlement and tax evasion. Diana stopped speaking to me entirely, but as I walked the job sites, checking in with crews who now received fair wages and benefits, I knew Dad would be proud. Some family ties aren't worth saving, some betrayals can't be forgiven, and some justice is worth waiting for. What would you have done in Zariah's position? Would you have rejected Marcus's apology and let him face the consequences of his actions? Or would you have shown mercy to preserve family ties? Is blood relation enough reason to forgive someone who repeatedly betrayed and disrespected you? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this revenge story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Your support helps our channel grow, and we'd love to hear your perspective on these complicated family situations.